I like how we vibe. 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 I like how we vibe.
This video is sponsored by our channel sponsor, which is 015. You can find them on 015.co.za for some premium web hosting from as little as 45 Rand 90 cents. I mean, 45.90. Think about it. That's not a lot. And you will get some premium domains. And I personally would advise you on getting maybe the Supreme or the Executive packs, because it comes with a lot of benefits and a lot more storage. And you can host multiple websites on one package, you know. And this is, since we are talking businesses and growing your businesses, you can actually get your business registered by them. And there's some benefits, you know. You can get a name reservation, company registration, a certificate, income tax number, and you can even get a free.co.za domain if you pick one of the higher packages, or you can get a free QuickBooks subscription for 3 months. For 3 months. Yo, that's nice. You know, that's really, really nice. And if you want a website, they can actually develop a website for you at a very affordable rate of starting from 2,100, excluding VAT, I think. But it's not a lot. Think about it. 2,100. You spend a lot more on other things. But yeah, and once again, executive plans and supreme plans, you literally get free domains. They, for the first year, they are literally out here trying to win you guys over. Anyway, let's continue with the video. Okay, so now the next thing on the agenda would be VAT preparation. So this is where we are, VAT preparation. So yeah, let's get started with that. You can access it here. You can either access it here, or you can go to reports, VAT. I know it falls under reports. I should be doing it under reports, but I'm gonna do it alone. I'm just gonna do it alone. So yeah, when I click it there, and then it's gonna ask me all these information, because this is the first time I'm doing a VAT report, or preparing for VAT returns. It's gonna ask me all of these questions. So I'm gonna say next. This is the VAT number that we had entered earlier. The last VAT period would be the last VAT period that you actually I'll tell you now. The last VAT period would be the period that you literally did a while ago. So basically, for example, let's say your last VAT period was it was the last day of January, so 31st of Jan. The VAT submission would then be 25 days later, which would then be February, 25th of February. So because we fall into that VAT category, then the next submission after this would be the 31st of March, and then the submission would then appear, the next period would be 31st of March. The VAT submission would then be by the 25th of April. I hope that makes sense, but they do explain it here. See, they said if your last VAT return was submitted in May and it relates to March and April, your last VAT period end date would be 30th of April, and your last VAT submission due date would be 25th of May. Basically what I just explained to you, but I'm using a better example, because most people don't fall within this category, but this category most people do, so I'm going to use this one. And then obviously frequency is 2 months. So I'm going to say next. Your previous VAT was 31st, and based on your reporting frequency, you see, like I was saying to you, since the last one was on the 31st of Jan, the next one 31st of March. My previous was 25th of Feb, my next 25th of April. it tells me that I have transactions that fall within the last VAT submission. These transactions would have been marked as having been submitted on a VAT return, but sometimes you can edit or capture transactions that fall outside of your current VAT return, or they might be from another VAT return period, but because you didn't claim them, you can still claim them, provided they fall within the scope of the Tax Administration Act. Yes, so I'm going to click on finish. I don't need this, I know this. So, and we've set it up. It's open. This is our period. And this is literally how much we owe from all of those transactions we did. So if I say view report or view calculations, and this is just, don't worry about that stuff. VAT period, once again, it's the March VAT period, not date, all these things. Trust me, unless your accountant says otherwise, just click yes until you get here and say view report, because most people don't know what these mean or what they stand for, what periods, what rates are supposed to be used. But the system does a great job in actually filling in those gaps, so you don't need to worry about whether the figures that you're submitting are incorrect or not. From past experience, this VAT report is sufficient. You submit this VAT report and invoices, SARS will have no problem in actually giving you a refund if you have a refund due. And as you can see, this is our transactions. So if you look, other goods and services supplied to you. Remember, during this time I didn't capture any income, I just captured a couple of expenses here and there. So if I click on here, it'll actually take me to those expenses. So travel and accommodation, petrol, which is actually incorrect. Remember, did I make a mistake? Travel, it's petrol. So I made a mistake in capturing this, or I did it on purpose. I can't really remember. It's a few videos back. So I'm going to click on this or go back to banking. Look for that transaction. FNB credit card, petrol has no VAT, or it's zero rated or exempt. Basically there's no VAT on here. For now I'm just gonna say zero rated because that's actually what it is. So I'm gonna say save that, and now we go back to VAT. There's nothing, because the one transaction we had here was a zero rated supply. You submit your VAT return as 0, and then that's that. We say save, we close this period. I'm gonna close it because there's not much that's going on. Close the period, and then I'm gonna do my next period, which is the period that has a lot more transactions. So I'm gonna say view calculations. As you can see, it's got standard rates, got all those invoices. This is the VAT. This is the VAT here total, and then also invoices. It's got all of those. Here they are, and this is how much VAT is refundable, meaning you're living nice. So SARS owes you this much, so you just go back. And then you submit your return. Once you're done, you can close the period. I normally keep this period open until I've resolved any queries I have with SARS, because sometimes if you are owed money, they will ask you for documents. Basically it will be a back and forth, and it's a nightmare, So Once you submit, you put in the date that you submitted it. I'll say today, put that in. And then you can actually, let's see the report. This is literally how it breaks down which invoices were involved. So you see bad debt, all of that. And you can print this and submit it, but there's a nicer report. Let me go back to VAT returns, and then I'll show you the report that you would submit to SARS. Is it? No, this would be the report that you'd actually submit. So you print it in a PDF format, and then when they request it, submit it. It will show them the invoices at standard rate, bad debt, exempt supplies, standard rates, and all those things, you know. And then you just submit and VAT summary, and they will, once they have this and the invoices, they should give you a refund. But sometimes SARS does get funny and they'll ask you for this thing over and over again. But if you want that money, just keep resending them the same thing, and eventually somebody has to cave, you know. So yeah, that's that. So I'm gonna say save, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is VAT preparation. You see how easy that was? It was simple. The system made it so much easier. Like literally, you didn't have to worry about going through your invoices and checking, is this VATable? Is this not VATable? The other thing is that your accountant, on a maybe every 2 months, you just ask him to check your VAT return calculations and see if you did capture everything correctly, and then they will make changes here and there, and then once that's done, you can actually submit the VAT return yourself. You don't need to have somebody else submit it for you. So yeah, that's that.